Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I thought today would just be a really nice day to have an impromptu reading because we're right on the heels of a full moon. I don't know about you, but I definitely felt the effects of that. We are also just approaching the final quarter of the year, the last 3 months. And, this feels like a really nice, compact amount of time to check in, see where we're at, see what's going on. And I think I'm just gonna pull a traditional Celtic cross here to basically give us a chance to course correct or embrace any opportunities that might be coming through. This is for everybody that's present. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull a regular Celtic cross, and if I feel like there's enough time and if I have the energy to do it, I might do elemental, but we can get a lot out of a Celtic cross. So let's give everything a shuffle. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well and that this has been a good month for you. By the way, all of the October readings are now on my main channel page. So if you happen to miss any of them or just want to get caught up, this is the time to do it. All right, let's focus now and see what's coming through right now, what we need to be paying attention to. And again, this is for everybody. This is what I'm planning on doing right afterwards, which is to take a hike. But walk Apollo, then I'll take a hike. All right, let's see what everyone else is up to. Hopefully those of you on the other side of the world, this time works for you. I know it's evening time in Europe. It might be more convenient for other parts of the world. I try to shift around when I do live streams, so I hope you're enjoying. I also posted the daily reading as well, so all the Octobers are up, as is the daily. Actually, I was just going to do a Celtic cross, but I expanded it. So we probably won't do the elemental because I'm so used to doing this more expanded version. We'll just kind of float through this and see what it has to say. All right, as we look at this fourth quarter of the year, the last 3 months, we have a solar plexus card coming through in the reverse state, which is showing that for many of us, right here, right now, we need to focus on taking care of ourselves, which has been a common theme over the past 2 days as I looked at today and tomorrow's reading, the dailies anyway. And this is also about power dynamics in your life. So Emperor, Empress energy around you may be kind of coming in and challenging certain aspects of what you're working on. So finding your power, standing your ground, focusing on strengthening the solar plexus, all of these things are important. And in a full moon here, you want to be a little more gentle with yourself. So this is something that you can focus on a little bit more as the week and the next month unfolds. So we're really looking at October energy here, power, empowerment, and really finding a sense of being able to stand up for yourself, perhaps even. Okay, as we look at the cards here in the very center, which I was commenting on as I pulled it, is the Fool. A reminder to get out into the world and explore, see what's out there. Don't get stuck in old patterns. Change up the routine, which is something I just talked about this week. Apollo just stepped out of the room, but it's about, basically, if you feel stuck, if you feel inspired to try something new, this is a good time. This is a fresh start. We have the number 0 up there. So just like in the old-fashioned days with a traditional hard drive, you would write zeros over it to get rid of everything. This is a chance to turn a new leaf, if you will, and take a first step, okay? You have not one, but 2 cards associated with birthing. So we have the Fool here at the center, and then we have another baby card right by it, the Sun, literally a baby riding in on a horse. So this is the time to basically move forward. By the way, thanks to everybody that's giving back with super stickers and super chat. I will say thank you at the end individually. All right, this is the tough part. There is hermit tendencies that are kind of like overshadowing the Fool. The Fool is basically the key to success. This can either amp it up or pull it back a little bit. So some of you are oscillating between wanting to just keep to yourself, pull back a little bit, and then the need again to get out there. So one step at a time. You don't have to go full force in anything. And I think it's better actually if you get your, you sort of feel that sense of balance and footing first and foremost. This is also a card of knowledge, research, and connection to source. And lo and behold, in the environment, we have the star here, and the hermit always carries, or in this case, she's wearing the star. So I feel like some of you are just getting comfortable with this idea of being a little bit more in the forefront, being seen, not feeling judged, not judging yourself, and that's going to be important. We have stubborn energy coming through in the deep past. I do love the Queen of Wands. When the card is in the reverse state, however, sometimes there's difficulty dealing with authority, sometimes there's difficulty in taking the lead, and sometimes we're our own worst enemy because we're just stuck in a way of thinking. So open your mind, open your heart. That's really all this card is inviting you to do. We still have all the cool stuff here, which is intuition, landing on your feet, the ability for people to follow you once you know what you want to do, and again, making something happen when no one else can. So all of that energy is there, but the things that are holding you back could be rigidity, stubbornness, or an inability to try something new. So be daring. It's kind of like food. If you don't try some, like a different flavor, a different cuisine, you never know if you're going to like it. In the recent past, which is for many of us right now, because I'm looking at a future state, what we're dealing with here are heightened emotions. Typically, I like the Nine of Cups because it represents a chance to really have some fun and celebrate, just like the Three of Cups. But both of them are extremes, and this is more extreme than the Three of Cups. So when it's the best day, it feels like the best day ever. When there's a challenge, it feels like, you know, Chicken Little, the sky is falling. And really, the truth is that we're somewhere in the middle. So try to focus on getting perspective. And that, my friends, is why the center card, which is a little bit in the glare here, sorry, is coming through. So we need to step away from the extreme and see the periphery, which is pretty good because we have the star here, and see the big picture, which is expansion. I was talking to, I believe, Pisces about this. It was either Aquarius or Pisces, one of the last couple of signs that I read for, about the difference between completion and expansion. The world is about expansion. And this is something where sometimes that gets confused. Just because you finish something, it doesn't mean that that's the end all be all. This is the next thing. And this is saying, are you ready and willing to kind of take it out to the next level? Because there is an opportunity now to go even bigger, even brighter. And with both the star and the environment, and then the world as your crowning card, you don't want to limit yourself right now. I would encourage you not to anyway. This is an overdue move. For some of you, it could be almost like the rug being pulled out from underneath you. So perhaps you were waiting a very long time for someone or something to appear. When it does, it's almost like you have to pinch yourself and think, is it real? And it's also like that old-fashioned phrase, careful what you wish for. Of course, not as a warning, but just sort of like sometimes we pine after something so long that you have to catch your breath, right, when it actually happens. So be ready for some good stuff to happen. Don't second guess it when it's actually here. This is what you guys, signed up for, right? And it's a good change. We see change for the better. The Sun card here. This is also taking us into another cycle in our lives here. So the Sun card can be a solar return. I saw we had a birthday there. Happy birthday. It can also be a one-year cycle or just a shift or a reinvention or a birthing. In much the same way that the Judgment card can be that. And I love that we have just this little joyful girl on the horse here coming forth. This is also an interesting... this deck is fun because it plays a little bit with what would be traditionally divine masculine or feminine. So this idea of solar plexus, it's also challenging those old views of what's acceptable, and maybe you're doing something counter to expectation. Good for you. The main thing here is, again, stepping forward, trying new things. Your charisma, your excitement, your energy is what's going to pull other people in. Just like the sun, people are looking for something bright, something to follow. So you have to maybe step into that for the first time in a while. But ultimately, this is so far about empowerment, believing in yourself, finding that empowerment, right? All right, here's how you're showing up. This makes sense because I'm reading it, the morning or afternoon after a full moon. So some of us are still decompressing. So this King of Cups just needs to sort out how they are feeling and let go of some stuff. So this is the ultimate symbol of being able to receive. When it's reversed, it's saying, before I take on anything else, maybe I need to laugh or cry or write this down or talk to someone or just take a moment, because it's kind of like when you're eating dinner or something and you can't eat one more forkful. When you're full, and you have to let go of something first so that you can continue to take new opportunities, new things in. So emotionally take care of yourself, release what needs to be released. Proper self-care. I've been almost like a record having to say this the past couple of days. So that's okay. It's okay to feel a lot on the heels of a new moon. And even as we're looking at the last 3 months of the year, sometimes we get in our own headspace thinking of what we were trying to do, and you still have time, okay? In the environment, we have the Star card, probably one of my favorite cards in tarot because it means you're connected to source. It's typically very, very positive or auspicious. And it's a card of balancing. You see her here with kind of like the Temperance Angel. They both have this ability to kind of be in the flow and also make sure that if there are any imbalances, now is the time to seek the balance. And because it is the Star, one of the ways that you're going to seek the balance is by doing what feels right. And it's not selfish to do what you're called to do. That's part of why you came to the planet. So this is a moment to really align with the planetary hopes and dreams, which takes us into the next piece here, the moon. So appropriate that this would come through in today's spread as we're checking in on the energy. So this is a cool interpretation of the card. We see people wearing masks. We see someone coming out of the water, and then we see that ever-present path in front of them. So the first thing to kind of look at, this represents the shadow side. Normally it's a lobster or some other sea creature coming out of the water. We have to deal with our fears, and it's in hopes and fears, and just kind of address it and think, am I going to feed energy into that? Am I going to try to manifest the fear? Or am I going to move closer towards illumination and towards the path that's been calling me? And then this really nicely sums up what would normally be like the wolf and the dog. And it's instinct versus what you've been conditioned to do. So sometimes we have to follow our instincts. It's also competition and avoiding these sort of trappings here, which can be getting caught up in someone else's drama. Once you face those 2 or 3 things, the path opens up. There's nothing blocking you. And the moon requires us to do a little bit of that. Some of you may be having multiple things that are kind of blocking you. For some of you, it's just one. The minute you release it, we have the Queen of Pentacles as the outcome, and that's a really positive outcome. And things can happen a lot faster than expected. That's the bunny rabbit. That's abundance and speed. And overall, I quite like this sort of energy pulse check, because just reviewing what we've seen so far, let me see if I can take this one light down a little bit. There we go. That's better. Much better, actually. So as I'm looking at this here, the main thing here is to take a step in the right direction. There's an overdue change coming through for you, and don't get caught up in other people's drama. I think that's one of the key things to focus on in this moment in time, because there's the near future and the outcome are really, really positive. And interestingly enough, this is the universal symbol for like a mom next to the Empress. This is a baby. This is the thread that connects them. So some of you are healing the wounds of the past, maybe with parents. It could be authority figures in your life. And once you do that, that's when your own power to light up and do what you need to do is going to come through. Okay, let's expand the forecast quickly. Take a pulse check on health, wealth, love, and destiny. Again, this is for everybody that's present. Looking at the energy of health, we have never a crowd on the leading edge. Amen to that. So for those of you that are trying to do something new or different, it can sometimes feel a little lonely. So the energy here is to not measure success by how many, but how sort of like amazing your sort of group is. So as we get older in life too, you'll notice that like usually when we're elementary school, high school, college, maybe first job or something, there's a lot more people around us. There's a lot more friends. The network's big. As you age, as you get further on your path, the network is smaller, but you can count on a few people really, really well versus like that big crowd. So if you have a few good friends, even just a couple that you can count on a couple fingers, you're perhaps richer than the person that has, you know, a gigantic sort of contacts list, but nobody picks up. Okay. So that's the important thing. And when you're trying something new, it is a weeding out sort of thing where only the people that truly were there all along are going to kind of continue to show up. So that's the main thing to focus on, is who is there. And if you feel good with them, you're doing okay. And then you start to attract a new sort of energy or tribe around you. Okay. All right. Let's just focus on the reading. I see some questions about a final question. Yeah, let me just kind of be in the flow for a moment. I will see how I feel at that point. Okay, just generally looking at health, I do think it's important to get out into nature. I understand for those of you that are in inclement weather, you can even see here in LA, we're already in the shift of entering into fall. The sunny, bright days are gone. We have some overcast. And I know a lot of you, I've been, by the way, my heart goes out to New York because I saw that on TikTok. There is some crazy stuff going on in New York City right now. So I get it. Not everyone wants to go outside. But when the weather is better, and it will shift in any given place, it's good to change up the routine a little bit. And this is also just broadly, we're looking at the next 3 months, not just today. So in this moment in time, things may be a little bit crazy, but once things settle down, I think it's important to change things up and get out of the sort of, for those of you that work so much from home, this is a reminder to also look outside of the home office as well. Okay. Let's see what else we're looking at here. Again, solar plexus energy coming through in both the sun and then the catalyst card as well. Emotional well-being in both the King of Cups and also the Moon. So heavy emotions, like we have the extremes, really, really positive, really, really intense. And again, exercise, getting outside, changing out the environment, all of that can help. Some of you have just moved, are about to move, or want to kind of clear up your environment. Yes, the World card is showing good changes, but it also reminds you the dust has to settle. This has been coming up so frequently in my October readings. So the Moon card, in addition to being emotional, can just be your how much water you're taking into your system, making sure that you're drinking and hydrated enough. It can also be for those of you trying to get pregnant. We actually have an indication here that's really auspicious with the Queen of Pentacles. And it's also just a reminder too that we don't overlook things like going to the urologist or talking about reproductive health and things like that. It's not something that's talked about that much because both of these cards, this is like the female and the male reproductive health as well. So make sure that you're getting all parts of your body checked out, and basically that's that. And then, let me see if there's anything else that we need to focus on. Mostly here, looking at your solar plexus. If you're dealing with stress, it could go here. So some of you are feeling issues with digestion. If you're feeling stress, sometimes you're also getting the butterflies or then feeling nauseated or something like that. So going to the root of the matter, knowing that the stomach is actually kind of like the top of the surface, and there might be an emotional or an environmental component to this as well. Standard disclaimer applies for all of this. Anything that's going on with your actual health, work with a professional, but I'm looking at the energy, which can oftentimes indicate what you can talk to them about. All right, let's move on. Actually, not to love. We're going to go to wealth first. As we look at your wealth card, we have a beautiful one here. Focus on the light and look at all the sunflowers and suns that we have. So we have the sun card with the baby with the sunflowers. We have the Queen of Wands in the deep past with the sunflower. We have the solar plexus card coming through here. And when it comes to money, wealth, possibilities, this card is saying rather than focus on what isn't or hasn't been or may not be, focus on what can, what you want to be, what you think will be. Basically, you're feeding that energy and putting in the potential here. And excitement can be palpable and really something that others can connect with. And let me see if there's anything else here. So just looking briefly at general relationships with your resources, it's a time for expansion. We do have the Queen of Pentacles. So she shows up after all the internal work is done. The emotional pieces with the Moon and the Nine of Cups and the King of Cups, the sort of stepping into something new with the two birthing cards here. By the way, if you're looking for babies, it could be twins. And it would be like a boy and a girl with these two. With everything else here, I think it's just not to give in to your fears too much. There could also be two opportunities that are pulling at your sort of time and energy, so you have to figure out how to balance that. So if you're trying to start something new, like restarting your career or starting your career, there may be a move that's involved in order to do this, like going away to school or moving for a job. If you are mid-career, it feels like this is breaking through. There should be recognition here. This is a claim, the star. The sun is a star. By the way, these are two stars. So we have like two babies, we have two stars. There's room for more than one successful person. If your company or whether it's the place that you're working or the company that you keep, if they're not sort of accepting of that, find a place that is, okay? Most star systems are twin stars, not just the single one like we have anyway. But I see recognition and growth and you moving in the right direction here. For those that are unemployed or retired, this is a time for self-care. It's a time to get out and explore the world a little bit. We got a lot of cards of travel. And people may be seeking you out in this moment too. So just kind of pull back a little bit and keep an open eye, open ear, and open heart. All right, so now we'll take a look at love and see what's coming through on this one. It's kind of exciting based on what we've been looking at, but we'll read this first. We have the Moose with wisdom. It says, we'll pull it up to the main camera. Let your head and mind reach the stars. Amen, because we actually got the star. Keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom of your soul. The ancestors speak through you. Okay, so it's basically just saying, find your balance, shine brightly. I wish they would edit. The wisdom piece is also connected to the Hermit. So many of you have been around this sort of planet a few times, and your wisdom may belie your age, because these are the most youthful cards I could pull, and this is the wisest. So we see someone here who is wiser than their years, and that's ostensibly you, okay? And now let's see what's going on here. I'm going to look at this in 3 different levels. For those in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're already in a relationship, it's pretty evenly met, I have to say, because we have 2 stars, we have 2 children, we have 2 queens. We do have a third party here in the form of the King of Cups, but that's kind of you in this. So what we're really picking up on is heavy emotions, but I see pretty even energies. With such, it's interesting though, 1 queen is upright, 1 queen is reversed. So there may be a little bit of a power struggle where it feels like one partner isn't listening as much. What's missing here is communication. Do we have swords? No swords. We need communication, folks. I mean, it's a successful piece of any relationship, but it's really important when there is such strong feelings, and we do have strong feelings, and when there is such strong leadership or desire sort of energies is showing up here. So talk it out a little bit more in existing relationships. And the good news here is it feels like you could, you're stepping into an exciting new chapter. The Fool is a new start. The Sun is a birth card, and the Queen is a nurturing card here, the Queen of Pentacles. But you have to feel like you're both growing and going in the same direction. And that's the question here. Has one or both of you kind of moved into a path that's divergent? And if so, what do you want to do about that? Most of you are fine, and it's just about a new chapter. But for some of you, there could be a divergence here, and communication's missing, okay? New child or new children could be coming into the picture for some of you. So that's one thing to think about. And even if you're retired, there may be more focus on spending time with those that you love. Shifting the needle to those that are looking for love. Absolutely, you can meet love. There's almost too many options in front of me. There's too many cards that can be relationship cards. So What I would say the most important thing for you to do right now, if you're looking for love, just get out the front door. This isn't something that you're going to... We see her looking online because this is a different... I mean, I like that we have like a modern hermit, but the true answer is to get off the computer, to get off the apps, and to get out. An organic meeting is kind of being aligned for you. Or if you chat with someone, make sure that there's an in real life connection sooner than later. Star card coming through, high spiritual connection for those of you that are meeting someone. One or both of you could either have a child or be looking for children, or this could just really take off quickly. So are you ready? And you're pulling in a very strong energy that isn't afraid to boss you around or to say what they want. So make sure that you're on the same level. And if that's not what you're looking for, I think the main thing for those looking for love is to be specific. There's no way to even identify exactly what it's going to be because I've got earth, I've got water, I've got ones that can represent signs like Scorpio or, there's too many. So discernment and clarity is going to be the key message here. When I have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, it's basically time to focus more on the quality. Like we're talking about here, it's not about how many, it's about how valuable and how kind of like perfectly aligned the match is. Okay, if you're happily single, there's so much you can do right now. Money and personal development, key in that. Many people want to see you. So whether you're physically kind of stepping into the spotlight or whether you're doing something where you're giving back to the world or to the next generation, this is a very visible spread, and a lot of this wants you to step out from the shadows into the light. So that's what I see here for all of you. All right, Destiny card. We have Honor Your Beauty. It's really about loving and accepting yourself here. Archangel Yophiel coming through saying, thanks for helping me discover my inner and outer beauty, knowing that, conventional beauty changes over the years. If you look at Renaissance painting, if you look at things from all the different eras, what we consider beautiful changes. So love yourself unconditionally and know that some of the current trends are going to come and go in the next 5 to 10 years. So let's not try to change ourselves to meet that. Let's just be cool with where we're at and let that other stuff go. And really, love does start within. Unconditional love starts within. Okay. That is the main spread, and it's actually pretty manageable, folks. We're going to do a couple bonus cards. Let me just do a time check here to see how long I've been talking. Not too bad here. All right, so let's do maybe, let's see. Okay, about half hour. All right, so we're going to maybe do a couple of additional cards here. So what I'd like to do is I always do a final card, but let me see if there's anything else that I want to do in addition to the final card. We can do an elemental check-in, and I think that'll be a nice pulse check real quick, and then I'll do one final card, and I think that's good for today because I want to keep this around. It's going to make it 35 minutes, but that's fine. All in the flow, and that's what I feel like doing. Okay. So let me just get to this. There we go. So we're going to look at fire, earth, air, water, one card for each, 4 cards total. See what's coming through. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay, let's talk. So fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Accountability is the number one thing here. So for many of you, you have no more appetite or patience for people who say they're going to do something and then they don't do it. This is also you becoming a lot more real with yourself and not making promises to others that you know you can't keep. So examples that we don't always think about, like one, for those of you that are looking for love, if there's no connection on the first date, don't make a second or third one, like let it go. If you say you're going to meet up with a friend or call them, meet up or call them, they're waiting. If you say you're going to finish something, do it. If you don't think it's possible, caveat, you put that out there. Say, I can't promise to do this. I'm going to put it on my list, but I'm going to need some help if you want this, and I cannot promise. So make sure that you're being realistic. That's the main thing here. And then hold other people to account if they've made promises, but they're not keeping them. So you're going to lead by example, and you're going to be kind to yourself, and you're going to say no when you need to. And by doing that, we bid fair adieu to Seven of Swords, which is really nobody's favorite card. But of all the sort of tricky cards, it's one of the more manageable ones. Okay, so that's the energy for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. For my earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, who's the boss? That's what this card is asking. We have the Chariot in reverse. It's also saying it's okay to change your mind or direction, but be willing to do the work that's necessary to push something in a new direction, okay? Don't micromanage, and really try to focus on one thing at a time. And I think if you can do that, you'll have all the power of the Chariot behind you, but all of the things that I just warned you of can happen when the card is reversed. And it's also saying, much like the Seven of Swords, just in a different view or vision, don't change course kind of like unexpected. You have permission to do it, but like if you said you're going to do something, finish it, or keep your word, because someone who's constantly shifting directions also is difficult to follow. So make sure that you follow through and that you are maybe even doing a little bit more planning. Like a GPS in a car, you need to know where you're going. Otherwise, it's just swerving back and forth. All right, so that's my Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Stay grounded. You guys can do that. That's part of your sign. You showed up really nicely here, so I feel like it's just a matter of not getting distracted. Let's put it that way. Okay, moving on from Earth to Air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm quite pleased with what you got. You've got the Empress. She's upright. This is one of the ultimate boss cards, evenly matched only by the Emperor. So you have the ability to kind of have a green thumb right now. Whatever you want to see movement or growth in, it can happen. I like that we have kind of an autumnal Empress here, since those of us in the Northern Hemisphere are going through autumn. So any time of year you can make it work. And she's almost saying, like, if not now, then when? So there's an encouragement here to just step into it, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Birthing energy, very, very clear here. So we got the babies coming through in the spread, the Fool and the Sun. But this is saying, okay, are you ready to let go? Are you ready to give birth to these ideas, these opportunities, etc.? Very, very valuable card, very auspicious, very productive. Remember to put some of that love back inward, because a lot of times the Empress tries to be a mama or papa bear for everyone else, so you got to take care of yourself too. Very, very good card for all my air signs, so take advantage of that. Water, Cancer, well, it makes sense too, because it's right now we're going into Libra season, but okay, looking at water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Four of Pentacles, are you ready to let go of something? What are you holding on to? Also, are you willing to ask for more? And I know that that's something that we're not always told that we can do, but if what you are receiving is inadequate or lower than expected or just outright not enough, then raise your hand and say, we need more, or this isn't reasonable, or just simply, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Always come with a solution though, or a rationale for it. If something isn't good enough, but it's safe, this is saying, hold on as long as you need to, but think of a plan B, C, D, find a way around it so that you're not settling for something. Think bigger, because remember what your crowning card was, expansion. And everybody got the energy of the Queen of Pentacles in the outcome. So this is definitely undervaluing those two cards and that potential, okay? So this is a time to go wider and think bigger and ask for more. And now let's wrap it up with a final question as requested. So I'm sure you all have one last thing that you want to focus on. So think about the question. I'm just trying to find the graphic here. Think about the one question that is sort of like a burning desire right now. And let's see what it is. By the way, before I even do anything, I've got the Strength card at the bottom of the deck. So that's coming through. I happened to look at it as I was pulling it up. But you're definitely strong enough. Let's see what you need to do to focus on getting this done. Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay, so stop overthinking. That's one thing that comes through with this. Don't be afraid to slow down for a second. You can ask yourself, why are we doing this, or why am I doing this? But what I don't want to kind of come through is the self-doubt. Can I do this, or am I deserving of it? Yes, you are capable. That's why Spirit was like, Nicholas, look at that lower card and read it. So I did. So you're capable, but You have to keep an open heart and an open mind. And this is about inaction sometimes too. So take action, keep an open mind, and really decide, like truly decide, I am going to do this, whatever this is. I am worth this. Needs to sit in here and in here before we can kind of see it happen here. Okay? And slow down and pause until you've got that. Because otherwise you're moving forward and hoping that people will believe you when you need to believe you first. Okay? And I think that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's impromptu reading. I try to keep it fast-paced and kind of in the flow. And we've got Apollo in the background too, but he's sleeping, so I'll let him be. If you guys did enjoy this, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. It does help. It helps other people find the video as well. If you're brand new and just happen to see that I was doing a live, hit the subscribe button, and that way you won't miss out on any future videos. You can also give me a follow across social media so that you never miss out on any sort of news or updates. A quick reminder, I've gotten rid of 2 of the 3, but occasionally there are some imposters. On TikTok right now, there's a fake account, so just remember, I will not message you. I don't do private readings. If someone's asking for money, block them, report them, let me know about it, and be safe, obviously. You can give back optionally and easily through YouTube using super chats, super stickers, memberships, etc. And it's, again, if you ever have any doubt of my usernames, you can always go to my website. I want to take a couple moments to just say thanks to everybody, and then we'll wrap up. While I'm doing this again, if you missed out on any of the monthly videos, all of the ones from September and October are live, and I'll be starting, I can't believe it, November next week, which is crazy. Okay, give me a second here to welcome the newest members, and then I will say thanks to any super stickers or super chat. We'll wrap it up from there. All right, so let's see. Why isn't this working here? I might start with the supers first. Okay, here we go. So, looks like we have 2 new members today, Kessa and I think it's Handi. Thank you guys so much for rejoining, both of you. It's good to have you back. Let me say thank you to the newest super stickers and super chat, and I'll take a quick look in the side here to see if I missed anything. All right, pretty short list today, so it should be easy. Jeannie, Regina, and Gina. Oh my gosh, that was kind of funny. Thank you for all of the love and support. Lots of familiar faces there, and it's great to see all of you. Okay, give me a second here because I know we got some additional ones here. So let's see if there was anything else. No, I got everything. Okay. Perfect. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this impromptu. It will be available immediately afterwards in case you joined a little bit late. And from my heart to yours, I wish you all the best. I'm going to go take a walk, just like that card showed me. And maybe I'm going to take Apollo for a walk first. Yeah, buddy. Want to say hi to everybody since I'm going to be out there with you for a second? All right. Here's our little fluffy ambassador wishing you guys all the best. And from my heart to yours, thank you for being a part of this as well. And wishing you a very good weekend. Remember tonight to do something for yourself. Maybe take a bubble bath, read a book, watch a movie that you like. Be kind on the full moon. It's a time to let go. Okay? And kisses from Apollo as well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.